versus Teofimo Lopez. Finally get to see the fight. Had 8 different fight dates. Changed promotions from Triller over to Matchroom Boxing on the Zone. Today we will finally get an answer to who is going to be victorious in the ring between Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. It's for all the belts at 135. Well, not technically for all the belts, right? The WBC is in contention. What up, JC? The WBC is in contention. He got the belt from Lomachenko, but Kambosos is getting sparked, I think. Yeah. There's lots of one thing's for sure. We finally get some, well, at least in my perspective, we get the ceremonial weigh-ins. It's kind of the more you get into boxing, the more you get to see things, and never has it been more in concrete now more than ever that there definitely is a ceremonial weigh-in, because Teofimo got on there with sweats and shoes, and several people confirmed it that weigh-ins are a lot earlier in the day. Fights last night on the Zone. Angel Fierro, Tashiro had a great knockout over his opponent. Melissa Esquivel had a nice fight versus Erica Cruz, the WBC featherweight champion from Mexico. So that was cool. Fierro on the come up, yeah. He was sparring out here in North County, San Diego, versus a guy named Kyle. I saw that on his Instagram. So he's out here in San Diego getting some. Heard anything on where Virgil is training at? He has shown on his Instagram some pictures in Manny Robles' gym in Los Angeles, and then he also posted a picture next to a fighter, another local fighter here in San Diego at the House of Boxing. So they have not gone public on where they're at next, but clearly Virgil Jr. has always been trained by his father and Hector Beltran. So although they may not be with Robert Garcia, they're still with their trainers. He's still with his trainers that he's been with his entire life. What else? What else is there on boxing news? We got Haney versus JoJo, December 4th in Las Vegas. That might be something I might head out to Vegas for. That's a very interesting fight. There's a fighter from RGBA on the undercard, Alexis Espino. He's 9-0, 6 knockouts. He's from Las Vegas. He is promoted by Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. Any word who they gonna train with? No word. I mean, we can only go by what they're putting out there on their Instagram. He's had pictures versus another fighter there with Manny Robles, and then he's also posted another picture out here at House of Boxing in San Diego. So we can only go by what they're putting out. There hasn't been any more. Well, Robert went a little bit more public when he did that interview with Sean Zittel from Fight Hype when he was at the fights last week in Las Vegas, and Robert's sharing some more insight into what he believes caused the split, which in his opinion, these are his words, not mine. Robert said that the problem with sparring was not in the training for the last fight, but the previous fight. So his last fight, they were sparring. There was sparring from a fighter from, I believe, Buddy McGirt's gym that came from LA over to RGBA, and then there was 2 guys coming over from Joel in in Indio over to Riverside to help little Virgil train. So Robert said that that was not the problem in sparring. If there was anything, if there was a problem in sparring, it would have to have been the previous training, which was the lead up to the fight with Maurice Hooker, where Robert shared that little Virgil tested positive, and the only person willing to do sparring with him was Hector Tanahara, who was also positive at the time. So that might have been start of some problems there for sparring, but it'll be interesting to see if Team Ortiz ever comes out and shares their side of the story. I'm sure they will. I mean, eventually they have to do interviews when their next fight is announced. There's rumors of Little Virgil's next fight being January 22nd versus Avanyensen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. Um, but I'm sure with press conferences and weigh-ins and interviews leading up to that fight, they'll be posed with some questions, and then we'll see the other side of the story. Because we're getting one side, Robert's side, and there's always two sides to the story. So we'll see if they want to go public with their side, or who knows? Maybe they don't say. Maybe they do a no comment, and we don't hear anything. We'll see. Um, One thing that I knew for a long time that I didn't go public with was Mikey's had been in the hospital prior to the Errol Spence weigh-in. I had been to the gym several times, and the Big G is pretty open with people that are in the gym, and he shared that Mikey had been in the hospital prior to the weekend, actually hit it from part of the team, and that's that documentation that Mikey put out maybe a week or two ago, and since then he's taken it down. But it was documentation that he was in the hospital. He was in the hospital, and doesn't say exactly what he was in the hospital for, but he was in the hospital. He did end up doing the press conference, weigh in, and he looked like his normal self. He was smiling and he looked normal. But I think it was a little bit of bad timing on Mikey's. Had Mikey put that out before his last performance, I think people would have been more receptive to it, because he put it out after that performance after Martin. It was a little it was a little bit bad timing on his side, and he probably for some reason he took it down. But the Big G has shared that with me, but I didn't see it as my responsibility to put it out there. He kind of told me in confidence, and I never really asked him if I had the authority to put it out there. But he had told me on a couple of different occasions that Mikey wasn't at his best when he was up against Errol Spence, in terms of his health. So, but now that Mikey's put it out there, I think it's easier for me to talk about it. It's Mikey that put it out there, so it's his info. And like I mentioned, had he put it out before that Sandor Martin performance, I think people would have been a little bit more receptive to it. But because that was his second loss of his career, it kind of grated on people the wrong way. I'm excited about that Jojo versus Haney fight. Jojo Diaz is from El Monte. Devin Haney originally is from NorCal. I think he lives in Las Vegas now, but I think Jojo has a really, I mean, just like most of us, we have our demons, and he's had his demons in and out of the ring. But I think he's had a child recently, and he seems real dialed in. Um, he seems to be doing some strength and conditioning with Nate Areola, who is also Esquiva Falcao's strength and conditioning coach. So he works with several fighters there in RGBA. I am Nate Ariolo. You can follow him on Instagram. Um, and he seems real dialed in. Um, Haney is not a fighter that people look good against. So a lot of people are going to navigate around having to fight somebody like a Devin Haney. Then that's just part of the game. That's just part of the business. People have different routes. People have different plans. People have different connections to different promoters. People have different managers, and that's the difficult part about boxing is that we don't always understand everything that's going on. So, but I think it's a great fight. Um, I think uh, I think JoJo's gonna put it all out on the line, and we'll see. JoJo gotta make it grimy. That's right. That's right. JoJo's gotta make it fight on the inside, have his tactics, slow down the momentum, kind of like Gabe Rosado did with Jaime Munguia. Gabe Rosado's very he's a veteran, has a lot of experience. He will, if you get success against him, he'll tie you up to break your momentum. He knows how to counter well. He knows how to use the distance well. Um, very skilled, very skilled Gabe Rosado. I enjoyed listening to him last night. When I was listening to DAZN, I must have not seen them, and I thought he sounded a lot like Emil Carr from HCP, from Hispanics Causing Panic. So I tweeted that out. I said, "Hey, Emil Carr, did you just are you in Puerto Vallarta doing a side gig for DAZN? Because it sounds like your voice." And somebody, I think Chicano Prophet tweeted back and said, "No, that's Gabe Rosado." But I thought that was interesting. His voice sounded just like him. What else is going on? Who else do we have? We got the tank fight coming up. Uh, there's some interesting news about Canelo Alvarez and that fight being that Makabu having a fight with somebody else. So maybe that's just Don King trying to get Makabu some side money so that opponent can step to the side so that Canelo versus Makabu can be made. Um, what else is going on? I haven't been back to the gym. I was out there 2 to 3 times a week. Week 1, week 2, and week 3. This week 4, I completely took off from going to Riverside. Just had some things to take care of here at the house, and I don't know if I'll be back for week 5. That's the last week that they have for 10 new members of this RGBA camp experience. 8 of them are amateurs, 2 of them are pro, 6 of them are from Texas, one from Oklahoma, one from Arizona, one from Orange County, another one from Madera, California. I've done some videos on them. I'd like to do more, a little bit documentary style videos for them. I'm just really pushing myself to get out of my comfort zone and do videos a little bit more like under the hand wraps and not just do freestyle, but just do editing, a little bit more music, a little bit more titles, some softer transitions, just a little stuff that's more appealing. How did they get picked? Uh, I think on the RG Unfiltered, they announced that they would be randomly picking people. So I think as soon as they made that announcement, they people started reaching out to them, and you reach out to either Pita Garcia versus via his Instagram, or Chepe Contreras. Those are 2 trainers there at the gym. People reached out to them, and then I think started they just started choosing randomly who would get invited to the gym. That's one of the fighters shared that's how it went down. He heard about it. He reached out via DM to Chepe, and then Chepe responded, and then they started having a dialogue, go back and forth, and that's how that happened. So they're in week 4. These guys have been away from home for Thanksgiving, which is really really tough. They got one more week to go, which is week 5, and then that'll be it for the 2021 RGBA camp life experience. Hopefully, I'll get out there next week. Um, there's a small chance I might get out there tomorrow. It's on a Sunday. But like I said, I've gotten a lot of film on them in the ring training. I'd like to get some interviews with them just to get to know them a little bit more and bring a little bit more life to the videos. Um, there's uh, there's a one fighter from Mexico who's 4-0. He's pro. His name is Bruno Pola. There's another guy from the San Antonio area, Johnson City. His name is Sylvester Quinones. There's the guy from Madera, California. His name is his I'm drawing a blank. Angel Avilas from Dickinson near Houston. There's Jose Camacho from Texas. There's Sebastian, another guy from Arizona. There's a lot of fighters. There's a guy from Durango, Colorado named Diego, about 26 years old. I had a good conversation. So hopefully I get out there, get some more in-depth interviews, and kind of, are they fighting for a small contract or not? Details. I don't know the details. I don't think a lot of them are amateurs. I've publicly, two of them have came out and said that they want to go pro. Angel Avila is one of them, and so is Silver. So they're looking to turn pro. They've had some good sparring. They've sparred pros. There are a lot of them. Are the 122 pounder Angel. I think he's sparring. Arturo Cardenas from Saguayo, Michoacan. So some of the middleweights have been able to get some sparring with Falcao and some more pros that are in there, like Eric Aguirre, who's 1-0 as well. So just some good stuff. Just a great experience for them to be in there with world-class trainers, world-class sparring, and just a good experience overall. Hopefully I'll be able to get out there. Like I said, hey, what's up, Silvestre Quinones? There, he's on the live. Shoe Shine Boxing. What's up, Dave? Just out here trying to get used to this going live, getting used to talking in front of the camera, interacting, reading comments. I'm only going to be on for a minute or more, so hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully those that try to stay on their diet were successful. If not, get some exercise. We've got good fights tonight, good fights in another week, good fights in December. So everybody have a good week. Sonteo Figueroa versus Fulton. I need a hot prediction. I'm gonna go with Figueroa, mostly because of his last fight, his last performance. He's got the momentum. He took care of Neri. He did it in a way where he went to the body. It wasn't even a headshot, or it was just a fantastic performance. So I'm gonna go with Figueroa, although Fulton is a live dog. So that's my prediction on that. Hopefully everybody has a good day. God bless everybody, and talk to you guys soon. Thank you.